John Shackleton, then, you've got plans to take aid abroad, and you're far from new to taking aid abroad, but what are your plans this time round?
Well, the idea is to do what I've done several times, and is to get enough money. I fly into Amsterdam, I bid for a second-hand ambulance, I bring it back to England, I three-quarter fill it with medical supplies, I find 2 co-drivers, and we set off. Now, originally, the idea was to take the ambulance to Turkey, but since I've been talking to the Turkish consulate and the Syrian consulate, it sounds as if the Syrians are being sort of put to the side. So we've decided that we'll go to Syria. Up to now, my fundraising mainly is chopping trees, selling the logs. Now I can do that continuously, but the idea is, of course, they want the ambulance now, and I'm 5,000 short. If I can get £5,000, we could set off tomorrow. Basically, that's what we have in mind.
And that money can come, you'll happily take it from any source, whether it's one big, very generous donation or lots of smaller donations.
Oh yes, too true, yes. And people have been exceedingly generous. They really and truly are. Not just money. My computer packed up last weekend, and I went down to Starbeck. There's a chap, Tom Tech. He took the computer in, he worked through the weekend. It's working a treat now. I asked him how much, no charge, because he realises that the computer will be used to help me get into Syria. The sign writer, E-Signs, up here behind Marks and Spencer's, again, doing me a sign. People stop me in the streets and give me a £5, give me £10. People have been exceedingly generous, but of course, unless they know what I'm doing, they can't be generous, can they?
But this is far from the first time that you've done this kind of work. When was the first time you did?
Oh no, we're going back a long time now. In 1990, when the borders opened, when they just got rid of Ceausescu in Romania, and I saw the appalling conditions of the orphans, and you know, they're human beings like us, and I decided that we had to do something about it. So I'm a practical sort of a man. I know plumbers, joiners, electricians. So for the first 5-7 years, we went into Romania with toilets and showers and installed them into orphanages. After about 7 years, I ran out of volunteers because we used to go in for 3 weeks. And then I bought an ambulance from St. John's Ambulances in Starbeck, and then went into Romania, and then from then on to Russia, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan. We've been to many countries since then.
And what kind of drives you then, John? Because you know, most people your age are, at home, and you're in your 80s, aren't you now? Yes. How do you keep, your energy levels up and your drive to do things like this?
Well, basically, I'm fit, and I think we are what we do. A lot of people can talk, but we are what we do. And I feel if I'm blessed enough to be able to do what I do, and I seem to inspire people. I have 6 lads chopping trees down. We selling the logs. They come in all hours, all weathers, and never get a penny for. Well, they do. They get the odd bacon sandwich. It's basically humanitarian work. That's the way I see it. I'm a human being, and I like to help my human beings.
And the countries that you've helped over the years, because it's now many years, isn't it, since the very first trip?
1990 was the first trip.
How many trips have you done, and can you recall most of the countries that you've gone to?
Well, I can get them if you want me to, but I mean, I've been to 22 countries. Romania, Kosovo, Bosnia, Azerbaijan, Moldova. I mean, that's just 5. I've been to 22 countries.
And so, just coming
Russia.
back to this sort of recent trip, then you obviously, you need money to buy the ambulance, and do you need co-drivers as well? Then is that part of?
No. I do have co-drivers. In fact, I have very little trouble getting co-drivers, especially when it's humanitarian as it is now. In the past, I've had trouble getting co-drivers, and I've had a real selection of co-drivers from a professor from Cambridge University who thought, as we drove down through the tip of Italy, we could just call in at the vineyards. I had to explain to him in no uncertain words that we are humanitarian workers, we're not on a jolly. I've had people who were in the early stages of dementia, which I didn't realise, and found out that they'd never driven anything, a stick, they'd always driven automatics, and that was really comical because he kept forgetting to change gear, forgetting to put his foot on the clutch. I've had all sorts of good, bad and indifferent.
So would you choose the co-drivers on the basis of interesting conversation? Because it's quite a long way.
Yeah, no, I choose them if they're enthusiastic. I choose them because at the end of the day, we are in the van because we live in the ambulance until we get to our destination. So we're on top of each other 24 hours a day, and it normally takes roughly a week, 10 days. Oh, mind you, we took one to Nepal. Now that took 3 weeks. But yes, they've got to be really easygoing people, yes.
And you said you were going to sort of bring the ambulance back to the UK and then fill it with medical equipment.
Yeah.
Is that donated medical equipment? Or?
Always, yes, always. I'm a member of St. Robert's Church. People donate from the church, but Harrogate Hospital is very generous. If something's getting very close to a sell-by date or even over the sell-by date, they will donate it to me and I'll take it out. And
the kind of medical equipment that they need then, is it just your kind of bandages and your kind of basic emergency care kind of?
Well, I can fill an ambulance very quickly, but this particular journey, we're taking 10 wheelchairs, we're taking crutches, we're taking Zimmerflains, we're taking that because it is a war zone and that kind of practical stuff.
Is that because you're expecting to find, obviously, people with damaged limbs then?
There's no question about it, yes. The ambulance will be used directly. There's a surgeon, which I got to know in Moldova, Dr. Yanni, and he has requested what I'll be taking.
And have you I know you said that, if you had the money today, you could go and get the ambulance almost straight away. Have you any sort of target date for getting that extra 5,000 in? Well,
no, the sooner the better. That's the only thing I can say. We're ready to go. If I have to rely on chopping the trees, it will take quite a while because, we sell them for £100 a tonne. Well, there's quite a few tonnes there to go. But if the donations come in, we'll be away.